Yep.
Okay, recording is
Oh,
started.
hi everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday, January 16th, Jupyter/IPython developer meeting. I suppose let's get to it. So first up on the list is updates from IPython.
So the only thing that I'm aware of to say is Carlos Cordoba has asked us to do a new release of IPyKernel. It will also be useful to get that out because we're starting to run into some issues with Tornado version 5, and that will fix at least some of them. So just kind of a call for if there's anything else, particularly in the IPyKernel package, that you'd like to get fixed or merged before we do a release, then now's the time to prod people and make sure it gets in. I'll probably do that release in the next couple of days.
Oh, okay. I noticed the other day when I installed IPyKernel without installing IPyWidgets, I got an error from one of the hard-coded hacks that we had in IPyKernel. So I'll open an issue in IPyKernel and reference the issue in IPyWidgets that I think has a reproducible test case. It may be time to remove the hard-coded hack in IPyKernel.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll open an issue.
Thank you.
If there's nothing else from IPython, next up on the dock is Jessica. She may be coming back later to give us an update. So I suppose now we'll move on to Notebook with Grant.
Okay, Grant here. So we held off on releasing Notebook 5.3 until today, just to give people a little more time to play with it, and because I was away this weekend, so I wouldn't have been able to support the release. So the plan is to release 5.3 today, unless there are any other objections.
Too late. Already did it.
Already did it?
Yeah.
Okay, 5.3 is released.
Yeah, so it's 5.3.1 because there was a bug.
Okay, great. News to me.
Yeah, I'm still working on the Conda Forge thing. That was the reason that 5.3.1 was needed. There was a symlink got introduced, and that caused problems on Windows.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, I think that's all I have for Notebook.
All right, thanks, Grant. Next up on the list, we have Jupyter Lab with Darian and/or myself.
I just added a few things. So yeah, we've released beta 1 as of last week, and we released a patch afterwards, which is 0.31.1. And let's see, some of the things that are in there. One of the things is that now if you, because this came to the fore with workspaces, you can now share broken states and persist broken states, and you had the potential of being locked out. So now we have a timeout that sits in the splash screen and just gives you the ability to blow away all your state if the load screen is still up and you think something's wrong. So at least you don't get trapped anymore, but we're still working on making the load itself happen much more quickly. And there's been a pretty massive effort on user documentation. A lot of that stuff has been going in the past week continuously. Jason and Ian and everyone other than me, it seems like, was thinking about how focus interaction works in the notebook, and there's a bunch of subtle fixes that have gone in. And I don't know, Ian and Jessica might want to add something.
I think that's most of the stuff. We've been having a pretty major push on documentation, so we welcome feedback from experienced and inexperienced eyes on how to make that better, especially from a user perspective. I think we'll probably try to tackle developer documentation a little later.
Yeah, I think
I do have Go ahead.
As a quick status report, so user documentation, which is essentially the 15-minute introduction to Jupyter Lab, is how we're sort of approaching it. We've got a lot of the text in place. We are going to be working on screenshots and linking between those. I think those are the two major outstanding items in the user documentation. And then the plan is, Jessica's been working on a blog post. The plan is once the user documentation is in place, we publish the blog post and announce to the world that we have released beta.
Do you have an idea of when this is going to be published so that we can schedule other blog posts if necessary?
I think our hope is this week. We were waiting until Notebook 5.3 came out so that we could take advantage of the easier installation method that Notebook 5.3 allows, so you don't have to run the server extension enable. So I think our hope was to get it done by the end of this week.
I would really, really want the release to not be the same day as the announcement of the CFP.
CFP for JupyterCon?
Yes.
And when is that?
It's supposed to be today.
Okay. Yeah, it won't be today, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I think Brian and Fernando are the only one who are currently discussing with O'Reilly for delay question that I won't say publicly why. Maybe sync with them to be sure we don't have to announce next to each other.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense.
And discuss maybe which one it would be better to have first.
Yeah, good idea.
Thank you.
Great idea. Thanks.
Next up is widgets, and Jason, as long as you're up.
Sure. Things have been fairly quiet. We've been fielding user questions and things. The big thing is we're gearing up for the widgets workshop next week in Paris. Especially if you're in Europe, sort of local to Paris, contact Sylvan Corley if you still want to go. I don't know what spots might still be open and stuff, but it doesn't hurt to contact him, especially if it's easy to get to the location. And so the idea is we'll have a widgets workshop next Tuesday through Friday, and then there's a PyData Paris meetup the Wednesday after, where we'll be talking about Jupyter Lab.
Thanks, Jason. Okay, next up on the list is NB Convert. Emma's not on the call, so we'll pass over that for now and move on to Jupyter Hub. Carol?
Yeah, we just released a small bug fix for configurable HTTP proxy, and other than that, pretty much just moving along on all the different Binder and Jupyter Hub projects. I dropped a link in the other projects miscellaneous to something that came across my inbox the other day, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I thought I would share it with folks. It's people using deep learning to actually create static sites from hand-drawn wireframes and things like that. So I thought there might be some folks that were interested in it, because maybe someday they'll be like hand-drawn notebooks. You never know. But that's all from me.
All right, thanks, Carol. And then last on the agenda is conferences and workshops, both JupyterCon and otherwise. Jason, you just talked about the widgets workshop. Is there anything else you want to add on that?
Nothing more.
Okay. Anything we want to say about Strata or Python Caribbean? No? Okay. Matthias, did you want to give an update on JupyterCon at all?
We're still discussing polishing up the JupyterCon 2018 website, and some question around the CFP, and don't want to say too much. How we announce the dates and some stuff. So we had the last meeting was delayed for some personal reasons. So the timeline has slipped a tiny bit, probably by something like half a week. So I'm hoping to see the CFP soon-ish, hopefully before end of January. But I won't share much, not to say things that are wrong.
Thanks, Matthias. And I let it slip by me, but with PyCon Caribbean, it looks like Carol is giving a keynote and Jessica is also speaking. So if you can make that, by all means.
It should be nice and sunny there too.
I have a quick question. Is there anybody planning on going to Strata in San Jose? We don't have a talk, I think, but I was debating whether to go or not.
I'm not aware of anybody going, but I think it would be good if somebody was there. So
yeah,
Jason,
especially given Jupyter Lab. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if Brian is planning on going. He might be.
Okay, I'll check with him. I think it would be good to have someone on the floor that could talk about Jupyter Lab, even if we don't have a talking slot.
Absolutely. And in terms of open CFPs, SciPy is open now, and in addition to that, they are also looking for reviewers for the program committee, and the time commitment, I did it last year, the last 2 years, and it was fairly minimal. So you might, if you have interest in that, contact them. And other than that, I don't have anything else. Does anybody else have anything else?
Are there any PyData conferences coming up? I'm a little surprised there's no PyData conferences listed.
I don't know. I am actually going to go to PyCascades in Vancouver later this week, but that's like a single track, so that's not a PyData. So I don't know.
It looks like London is April 27th through 29th. And that's the only one that's on the calendar.
Gotcha.
I'll put it in the notes.
All right, so that's just about the end of our agenda. If anybody has any last things they want to add, feel free to hop in. If not,
wait a minute. So, Jason, your name is on this, so I just want to confirm the PyData Paris meetup on January 31st. Is that happening?
Yes, I'll be talking about Jupyter Lab.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure that was my.
And you're welcome to come. And if you're there, I might ask you to come share the stage.
I will think about it. Thanks.
Okay.
Cool.
anything else? Okay.
Thank you, Ian, for moderating.
Thanks, everybody, and see you on the internet.
Cool. Bye.